Hey everybody out there, welcome back to our special interview. We have gotten a few technical problems sorted out, so we'll be continuing on where we left off. Kaiser, where did we leave off?
I believe you were asking me about what voices I do on the show. Or in general,
Yes,
really.
the voices. Voices that you do on DBZ.
Well, let's see. Let's see. One of the most prominent voices that I do is King Kai. And... Okay, I'm about to do King Kai, so prepare yourselves, because he's the loudest, most obnoxious character I have.
Basically, he's a gigantic blue fish man who talks like this. Funny thing about him, originally I talked with him like he had a fatter mouth, like he always had, like something stuck in his mouth.
But then people kept telling me, I can't understand what the hell he's saying.
So now I play him more like this. He's just very... without the speech impediment, now he's just kind of nasally and really scratchy.
Makes sense.
I also used to play Zarbon, who was somewhat fey in nature. And he died, so I won't be playing him much anymore.
That does tend to happen in DBZ.
Characters dying all the time. If you aren't dead, you will be, at least once too. And there's no guarantee you won't die again. Then I play Trunks, who's a character I won't be playing a whole lot until a bunch later. And
Berta, who just showed up, and Berta's gonna be very fun. And I'm so happy that I got a member of the Ginyu Force.
Let's see, who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anybody?
I know you were talking before we got cut off about the two guys you played in the Christmas special.
Oh yeah, in the Christmas special, and finally we did Trio of Night. Jeez, yeah, I played Jinga and Butter, which are supposed to be, phonetically spoken way, like how the Japanese would phonetically say Jingle Bell. And
Jinga is way up here! He's about as high as I can get, talking regularly, without sounding, even worse than this.
And that voice was something I was dying to use. Ever since I found out that I could do it, I was just looking for a way to use that voice. So, luckily the show has given me an outlet to be as silly and wacky as possible.
And that actually reminds me of one thing that I wanted to ask. For the Team 4-Star shirts promo, the latest 4 shirts, it's actually in Japanese. Do you actually know how to speak Japanese?
ちょっと、でも僕の日本語は本当にダメです。まだまだ勉強する。
Well, that's more Japanese than I know, that's for sure.
I actually started learning Japanese when I was much younger, mostly, and who would have thought? Because I was watching Dragon Ball in Japanese. It was actually airing on the International channel, and I watched it in Japanese a few times on the old Pioneer DVDs of the movies, but I never got too big into it because there was always the dub. But when the show stopped, stopped airing in the United States, when it stopped syndicating, I was so upset, and the only way to watch it was in Japanese on the International channel. So I saw the second half of the Frieza saga all the way up through Garlic Jr. in Japanese. And as I was doing it, I was desperately trying to learn enough Japanese to keep up with it, and like looking at sites online trying to find scripts to read while I was watching. But yeah, actually, I do know a certain amount of Japanese. It's not very good. I'm probably at like kindergarten level, but I can hold up a decent conversation.
Well, it's certainly better than what I can do, which is I can identify the word wing and a few others, and that's about it.
Funny enough, most of that commercial was through most of that commercial I was able to do on my own, but thank God for Google Translator. I'll say that much.
And would you say that your knowledge of Japanese and having watched some of the series influenced part of the Ginyu Force joke that is going on?
Yeah, there's some of that there. The whole Super Sentai joke that we've got going for them is entirely based off the fact that somebody who understands Japanese culture is definitely going to get what the Ginyu Force is all about. They're totally based off of the Super Sentai from, or just Sentai in general, from Japan, like Tokusatsu and whatnot. So yeah, the whole joke with the Japanese opening and all that is entirely based off of mostly my knowledge, because not everybody else kind of grasps that entirely on the team, mostly because everyone else on the team is very much more accustomed to the dub, ultimately. So I am kind of the I am. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am kind of the weeaboo of the group. It's one of the reasons we kind of make the weeaboo jokes with Ten Shinhan, because, you know, it's almost an indirect shot at the fact that I constantly have to I constantly correct everybody on the pronunciation of certain moves and names. So
right, and with something like this, you want to be as faithful as possible, but it's understandable how certain people could get a little annoyed.
Well, that's something that's always been very interesting about doing this show. We're trying to really touch on both sides of the fandom, because you have the people who grew up with the original, the Japanese version, or at least prefer that version, and then you have the people who grew up with the dub version, or at least prefer the dub version. And, you know, it was Destructo Disc, it was Solar Flare, it was Kaioken, it was Spirit Bomb, and, you know, no, we're not gonna, like, I do want us to start moving away from that over time, or at least kind of have an even mixture of both, because I don't necessarily approve of dub changes, but it is part of what, you know, made the series big. It is part of that show now. So I definitely want to be able to touch on both sides of, you know, both languages that the show is represented in.
Right, which is always a big thing, and for somebody who watched the original series with the Ocean dub when it aired, when you guys, for me it was the first time hearing the Japanese attack names, and I was slightly confused at first, but then I realized, oh, Japanese, of course.
Yeah. So it's been very interesting, just making sure that we entertain everybody and don't make anyone feel left out.
And I know you said that at the very start that the next episode will be out at the end of the month, and there was a special bonus thing, but what sort of other things do you guys do? I know you have a few behind-the-scenes videos.
Yep, which I'm going to be making another one of those maybe sometime this month. Thing is, I don't want to put that out, and then people get mad at me for not editing the episode, but that will be out on the 30th. So anything else I do, I'm taking that load on my own. Episode, it will be out by the 30th. And yeah, some of the other guys do behind the scenes videos. I believe Taka is going to be doing a behind the scenes convention video, which basically talks about what we do at the conventions and you know, how we prepare for them, how we choose what material we're going to have, how we, like, you know, answer certain questions, which should be fun. He's really big on the con circuit. He loves going to conventions. Well, Lanny and I are just happy to be, we're just happy to be invited at all and do that sort of thing. But as far as other material that we work on or what else we do, I'm gonna try and continue doing my own work. I know that Lanny does Outside the Otaku, and he has a lot of fun with that. And I know Taka keeps meaning to, like, start doing his own projects, but he keeps getting sidelined by things.
Right. And when we talked to Taka last year, he said that you were sort of his professional editor for his audio work.
Yep. Basically, if he needs something, if he needs me, if he needs anybody to do any like audio work for him, like as in like a demo reel or anything like that, or just kind of helping him with audio settings and recording, he comes to me. Which, you know, I'm very thankful for, but at the same time, I always kind of get this feeling of, shoot, if, like, when people come to me for things, especially important things, I always get really worried that I'm going to totally screw it up, and then I'm going to be the one responsible. So.
Right, and you mentioned conventions, and we've talked to a lot of other members recently who some say that, you know, they're still going strong on the con circuit, but some say they're trying to cut back. Where would you say that you fall in looking forward to some conventions this coming year?
Well, we have a couple selected already. I can't go much into the names yet because we haven't been announced, but we do have one coming up in April. We should be announced pretty soon for that one. In fact, the only reason I'm mentioning it right now is because they're about to announce us. But yeah, we have one coming up in April. I hope we're going back to Anime Evolution next year, or not next year, this year. It is 2011, folks. It is 1/11/2011. But I don't know if they're going to be able to. I hear that right now they're having a little bit of trouble. I will say this, guys, Anime Evolution was fantastic. Everybody who can go to Anime Evolution, try and support them right now. They kind of need it. But we're also hoping that Youmacon brings us back. Last year, huge numbers were pulled. We're hoping we had something to do with that so they can bring us back again, because that is one of our favorite conventions. We absolutely adore it, and it's a home con for us. So.
And are there any cons in your area that you're looking forward to going to, just like as a fan?
Unfortunately, I don't usually go to anime cons as a fan anymore. Mostly because I used to go to them, a lot of them as a kid, and going now seems. I could find out a lot of this information if I really wanted to, like the things that are asked at panels, and the dealer's den. It's really an experience for the big anime fan. It's an experience for somebody who loves that community. It's hard for me to be able to set aside my own time to really indulge in that sort of thing. So, it's really a matter of I could if I would, but as it is, I have to use my time the best I can. And since we're being flown out to these conventions, it's kind of like, well, since I can't go to them on my own time, let's just use these.
Right, and I know I'm in sort of a similar situation here. Since we're a news site, we get press status, but I have never gone to a convention until last October, when we were invited as guests to AAC, another anime con. And that was a pretty groundbreaking experience for me personally, since I had never actually been to a con before.
Yeah, well, oh man, the first con experience can be fantastic. My first was Anime Expo.
Oh, wow.
I think that is nearly impossible.
And what would you say is a big difference from just going as a regular guy to going as a guest, and, you know, all the excitement of planning panels and hanging out with everybody? Is it that much of a difference, or is it, you know, just another day?
Oh, there's a sizable difference. Mostly in the fact that you have somebody keeping tabs on you at all times of the day, almost. I mean, they're constantly asking, so where are you going? You need to be here at 5 o'clock for this panel. You know, and if you need any food, make sure that you're up in the green room. We've got this staffer on you. Here's our number, and it's a big deal that when you're at these conventions, they need to know where you are 90% of the time. Unless you don't have anything going on for hours, you know. And lately, that's actually been kind of that's been hard for us, because at the last couple of conventions we've gone to, we've had kind of full plates. At Anime Evolution, we never got to sit down. I mean, we were either going somewhere or getting ready to go somewhere, or we were at the place we needed to be. In fact, I believe, was it at that con? One of the cons we went to recently, we were eating at our panel, and I wanted to apologize, but I was so hungry. Like, we had no time to eat. And that's not a complaint or anything, but that's just how busy it got. Yeah, there really is a difference, because you have a lot of people, a lot of people waiting on you, a lot of people depending on you too. Hopefully, for our next couple of convention appearances, we really kind of step up our game, because we've kind of been filling out what we should do at the cons. But I think for the next couple cons we go to, we're gonna bring bigger things, more presentation. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope people can make it to the one in April when we announce it.
Right, and I'm sure that a lot of people will be waiting on that. I know I saw on the Team 4-Star Twitter you posted it, and that's where everybody can find every little bit of info, whether or not your YouTube channel has been up or down or whatever it's doing.
Yeah, we try and keep that Twitter updated very regularly, mostly because we kind of stay silent on the website and then the forums, mostly because those are harder to update. So it's like, okay, Twitter, easy information input, just get that out to everybody. Facebook, and not a lot of people go on the forum, unfortunately, which is kind of sad. I wish more people could be a part of the forum. I wish we could get something bigger and better going on down there, but...
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get that all sorted out, and I think you guys were talking about doing a podcast at one point?
We were doing a podcast for a little while. Unfortunately, I can't... We were using, I think it was Freecoder, or Freecorder. It was this recording software for us to, for when we were on Skype, that would record us, and then we'd make, the podcast out of that. Well, unfortunately, after I moved, something went wrong. It may be my connection, but when we were after we would record it and I'd put everything down in the timeline, all the audio was off and it was glitching. And the worst part about it was the last time we did it, it was a huge episode. We'd set up a bunch of new stuff. It was going to be we'd really had this great presentation going on, and it all broke apart, and that just killed our morale on it. And we were like, we have episodes to write and edit and voice. We can't put too much time into the podcast. As much as I loved doing that podcast and kind of, just kind of shooting the wind with everybody for people to enjoy. I hope they enjoy. Yeah, I don't know if we'll continue
understandable.
doing that anytime soon.
Especially since you guys are doing so much to get everything out for the new episodes and all the behind-the-scenes stuff that everyone else does and convention planning. Podcast is one of the least things on your mind.
Yeah, that and it would cut into our Left 4 Dead time. I mean,
Left 4 Dead time? No, it's not Left 4 Dead time.
Actually, if anybody hasn't seen it yet, we're actually doing like a Left 4 Dead. I wouldn't call it a Let's Play, but it's us playing through Hard Rain. Right now, Lanny has been putting that up on his blog. You can find it on our Twitter and on our Facebook. We're playing through Hard Rain on Left 4 Dead 2. It's Gon, Taka, Lanny, and I, and it's amusing stuff. I think if you just want to hear a bunch of nerdy guys play, well, not too nerdy, because Gon is a total jock, but if you just want to hear a bunch of fools getting their ass kicked in Left 4 Dead 2, check that out.
Well, it certainly sounds interesting. I know I will be sure to check that out. But I know last time we talked to you, you gave us all the ways to stalk Team 4-Star, and we have all those, but are there any ways that fans can stalk you personally?
Well, I am on Twitter. KaiserNeko. I don't. The thing is, I would give out my Facebook, but at the same time, like, you can find it pretty easily. I mean, I'm Scott Tyler Frericks. You can find me on Facebook. Thing is, I don't add people I don't know, which isn't anything against anybody else, but if I did add everybody that I don't know, I wouldn't be able to find the people that I do know and find out what's going on with them, and it's really just a matter of I like to keep things organized, so. But,
Yeah, it's perfectly
you can find me on
understandable.
Twitter.
We've had a few guests that say the same thing, and even some of our staff members feel that way. That Facebook is supposed to be personal for friends and family, or
Yeah.
college buddies, or what have you.
Yeah. And I also have a Livejournal if you want to find that, but I rarely update my Livejournal. I don't know who, like, barely anybody I know uses Livejournal anymore.
But it is there.
Yeah, it's there.
And
KaiserNeko.
And then
yeah.
there's, of course, your YouTube channel and the old channel that you made for Lupin the Third.
I think that's down though.
Is it? Well.
Is it down? Is it up? I have no idea. Unfortunately, yeah, I have a channel and I don't even know if it still exists anymore. After TMS decided to say screw you and pull all my episodes, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna leave it alone. But yeah, I do have my YouTube channel, KaiserNeko. Again, I'm not. I try and keep my brand alive, I guess. Very, very simple.
Well, that's always good. It is up, but it has no videos.
Yeah, you know, I thought about counterclaiming them, but they were pretty quick to pull my stuff, and as much as I love doing Lupin and would love everybody to watch it, I already have Toei to worry about. I don't need two companies breathing down my neck.
That's true. And is there anything else that you'd like to say to the fans before we go ahead and sign off?
Sure. Thanks for bearing with us over the holidays. I know we put out the Christmas special, but a Christmas special is still not the episode, even if it is a movie. Episode 20 will be out this month, and we're going to be doing something special. You know what? I'm going to announce it here because the video's not going to be up for a few days. We're going to be doing something special for episode 20, where we're going to ask the people to send in lines. Very specific lines, and I won't say them here. They'll be in the video that we're going to put up very soon. The deadline is going to be the 18th, mostly because I don't want it to be too late in editing the episode. But we are going to have something special for it. It's for episode 20. It will be in episode 20. And, you know, I'm just hoping that I'm just hoping that everything goes well, and thank you all again for just bearing with us. And we can't wait to get more material out to everybody.
That actually sounds like a really nice way to reward all the patient fans who have been waiting for everything, you know, a nice chance to, I guess, cameo in DBZ Abridged.
Yes, do our job for us.
We can't think
Do
who
these
should be for
lines.
this role. Let's have the fans do it.
And everybody who sends in something is going to be in it. It's, you know, but yeah, we still haven't gotten the video done yet. It should be done maybe by tomorrow. I have a lot of editing to get done to do it, but yeah. So, and other than that, you know, watch Purple Eyes WTF.
Well, alright, that is a pretty big finishing announcement here, so I will leave you guys off with that. Make sure that you keep it tuned to 918 The Fan. Coming up next, we have Rookies is Punked and their song Complication, so keep it tuned.